Today we're going to look at order of operations, yes, BEDMAS, with fractions and with integers. So every time you get to a test, I highly recommend on every single page that you write BEDMAS. Because it's going to be really important when you get to the question. Sometimes we get lost with what we're supposed to do next, and it's super important. I'm also going to ask you to write down a lot of steps, and that's just because the more you write down, the less you're going to make little mistakes or accidentally do an addition before you get to a multiplication. So the first one that we have, A, says 7 multiplied by 8 plus 6 multiplied by negative 9. Now, there are a few ways you can do this, like some shortcuts, but let's do it the long way just for the lesson, and there are a few shortcuts you could do when you get to the homework. So first thing I see is 7 multiplied by 8. Okay, so 7 multiplied by 8 is 56, and then I'm just going to write down the rest. Alright, now I come back to my equation. Now I start back here and I look at BEDMAS again. And I see 56 plus 6 multiplied by negative 9. So my next step, again, is going to be multiplication because I don't have any brackets, I don't have any exponents, I have no division, and I do have multiplication. So I'm going to do the multiplication first, and this is going to simplify to 56. Now this is plus minus 54. And it's really important that you see it's a positive 6 multiplied by a negative 9, and that's why we have a negative. We have a positive multiplied by a negative. You might have written it without the brackets. You might have written it just like this. That's okay. It's a little bit messier, and sometimes we lose things. Brackets are really nice because they keep everything together. So now I have 56 plus minus 54. Now, a plus and a minus, all that's happening is we're having a change of direction. So we have 56, plus minus is just a minus, 54, which is equal to 2. Alright, we're going to go on to some more difficult ones now. So the next one we have fractions. I'm going to write BEDMAS right on top. Alright, now I see negative a half divided by 1/4 plus 1 1/8. So we have a bracket, and inside the bracket what I really want to simplify first is this piece. I want to simplify my mixed number, and I'm going to write it as an improper fraction. So 1 multiplied by 8 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and I have 9 over 8. So I can rewrite this now as negative 1/2 divided by 1/4 plus 9 over 8. Now I go right back to BEDMAS, and again we get to the B and we have brackets, and we have simplification that we can do inside the brackets. I can simplify this. So I need to find a common denominator, and my common denominator here is going to be 8. So that means that I'm going to multiply this one by 2 on the bottom and the top. So if I rewrite this out, I have negative 1/2 divided by 2 over 8 plus 9 over 8. Alright, I still have stuff in the brackets that I need to simplify. I actually need to do this addition. So I now have negative 1/2 divided by, and I just add the numerators, so 2 plus 9 is 11, and my denominator stays the same. Alright, right back to BEDMAS. I have division now. So I'm going to change this so that it's written with a multiplication, and therefore I take the reciprocal of the last fraction. Alright, now we want to simplify. Notice that I can simplify 2 and 8. This can be rewritten as 2 divided by 2 is 1, 8 divided by 2 is 4. And so on the top now I have a negative 1 multiplied by a positive 4, which is negative 4. On the bottom I have 1 multiplied by 11, which is just 11. And notice that if I got here, and I could simplify further, I just maybe didn't get everything simplified in this step, then I would want to simplify it here as well. Unfortunately, 11 is prime, so therefore it's not going to be divisible by 4 or any factors of 4, so we are done. Alright, 2 more. And I'm going to write BEDMAS again, right over top of it. It's easy to forget, and that's why I like to write it down right over the question, just so that I can see it and it's right there. Okay, so I'm looking at this question. I have -2 plus big brackets, and then inside I've got -3 plus 5 multiplied by -11. So BEDMAS, I get to my B first, so I have to go inside the brackets. I have -3 plus 5. So I have a -3, and then I'm adding 5 to that. I get to +2. So this is going to become -2 plus +2 multiplied by -11. Now, notice that these brackets aren't necessarily doing anything anymore. Okay, so if you had wanted to write it like this, that would be okay. It's completely up to you. You could have also used the little brackets like that. All of those are fine. If we just leave it like this, I go back to BEDMAS. Okay, I have no brackets, no exponents, there's no division. There is multiplication. I have multiplication right here. So 2 multiplied by -11, we have a +2, a -11, so it's going to be negative, and 2 times 11 is 22. So I write down my first piece, and it's going to be -22. And now here, I have a -2, and then I have a -22, so I'm going backwards in both cases. So I get to -24. And we're done. Alright, last one. It's a fraction again. I'm going to write my BEDMAS on top. Alright, so I have -2/3 plus brackets. Alright, so right away I get to the brackets. Okay, and inside the brackets I have a -1/6 plus 2/3. Alright, so we have a minus plus a positive. Just like in normal fractions, we're going to find a common denominator. So I'm going to write out this first piece still. Oops, that's a 3 there. Plus, and inside the brackets, I have -1/6. And my common denominator here is going to be 6. So I'm going to multiply this piece by 2 on the bottom and on the top. So I have +4/6 divided by -1/4. Alright, so back to BEDMAS. I'm still in these brackets. I haven't finished anything in here. I have made it so they have common denominators, but I actually have to physically do this now. So I'm just going to write out my first piece. I have a -2/3 plus, now I have a -1/6, and I have a +4. And all I'm doing is I'm adding these together. So I have -1 plus 4. Well, this is going to become +3/6 divided by -1/4. And now I've simplified my brackets. I'm done my brackets. So when I go to BEDMAS again, okay, there's no more brackets, there's no exponents, there is division. I have division occurring right here. So I'm going to rewrite this as -2/3 plus 3/6. I don't really need those brackets anymore. There's nothing happening inside of them, so I can just simply drop them. And I'm going to write this as a multiplied by, and the reciprocal is -4/1. Again, if you're wondering, this negative sign, it could have stayed right here if you wanted it to go. You could have it on top like this. We really don't like writing it in the denominator, so make sure you try and keep it out of there. Okay, so we have multiplication happening here now, and we need to simplify this. And if you did go back to BEDMAS, brackets, exponents, there's no division, we do have multiplication, and I'm going to simplify first. So what I notice is that I can simplify these by dividing them by 2, and if I divide them both by 2, then I'm going to get 2 here, and I'm going to get 3 here. What I also want you to remember is that we can do division up and down. So notice that I have 3 divided by 3. Well, this also simplifies if I divide by 3 to 1. So what do I have left? Well, I have a negative 2/3 plus, and then I have this 1 multiplied by 2, which is 2. And on the bottom, I have 1 multiplied by 1, which is 1. And have I gotten everything, or did I miss something? Well, I'm hoping that you said you forgot the negative. And there is a negative here. And remember that we have a positive number here multiplied by a negative number, and therefore this in fact is negative. And so you could write this as negative 2/3 minus 2 over 1. And I've left it as 2 over 1 because we're doing subtraction of fractions. We have to find a common denominator. And the common denominator here will be 3. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3. And I get negative 2 over 3 minus 6 over 3. And to finish it off, we're just subtracting the top, the numerator piece. So I have minus 2 minus 6. So we're going backwards in both cases, so I get to minus 8 over 3. Notice that it is in the simplest form. 8 is not divisible by 3, and therefore I can stop here. And I'm done.